Spaces, things exist. And the lines that form the network of your mind. Behind the retinas of imagination are the particles and peripherals that made you who you are. Turn off, shut your eyes, and listen to dispatches from outside the box.
All right, Dispatches from Outside the Box is now live, coming to you with snapback punch action, side spin kick, and now with three new catchphrases. Be the first kid on your block to say you've watched Dispatches from Outside the Box. Welcome, everybody, to Dispatches. I am your host, Dispatcher C, independent artist, done work for some people here and there. And tonight we are here to talk about, if you haven't guessed it, action figures. Let's talk to our fellow dispatchers and host, Stone.
What's good, guys? I'm your guy, Stone Abdullah. I've been a sci-fi writer for about 20 years. Been a physical scientist for about 16 of those years. And during that time, 15 of those years, I've been an active storm chaser. So today we had some tornadoes come through the area. So I was out talking to the cops and be like, hey, there's a funnel there. So it's always cool. But all of that was inspired by, you guessed it, G.I. Joe action figures. I'm like, let's go get it. So yeah, it's a big inspiration to yours truly.
Absolutely. And of course we have the ever resilient Randy Zimmerman. How are you doing today, sir?
The Grandmaster.
Yes. Grandmaster Zim, the Gandalf of comics. How you doing? I'm a long time independent and alternative comics producer, publisher, creator. Done it all in this business, and I love it. Now I'm doing the podcast. So happy to be here. Dispatches Outside the Box. And Stone, I remember back, my G.I. Joes were 12 inches, and they had moss growing on their faces.
Those were the government issue Joes. Those were, yeah. That was the real.
There you go.
Oh, that was the real. Yeah.
Those were my action figures.
Let's see. Yeah. Look like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Like that, only mossier.
Only mossier. Huh?
That's an early version, yeah. Before they decided we could actually put some sort of moss or sandpaper on there for their heads and their beards for kids to straighten up the floors with.
All right, and of course we have our guest with us today to talk about action figures, Mr. Russell Allen. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
Hey everyone, I'm Russell Allen with Russ Explode Studios. I am a 3-year podcaster promoter. I've been an author for a little over going on 12 years now. And I also am a member of Comic Books for Kids, helping raise money for sick kids in hospitals and cancer centers nationwide. We'll be having a project coming up soon that's going to be super awesome, Cat and Piggy Girl, that'll be launching next month to help send copies of these comic books to help inspire kids and give them hope.
All right.
Love it.
All right. And of course, we have the Toy Maker. Hello, Mr. Toy Maker.
Hello, how are you?
Tell us who you are.
My name is Damion Waldbrunn. I am currently making toys under the O-Toys name. I'm also creator of Realmer X, action adventure comic, and I am 1/4 of the Dastardly Dingoes podcast, usually on Tuesday nights before this one. So, come see us and then come right back here.
Yeah. There you go.
That's it.
All right. Excellent. So I was thinking back, looking at those Star Wars figures, and I don't know if how many of y'all had those old Star Wars figures with the lightsaber. What was the deal with the lightsaber? It was a very weird looking thing. It was almost like a funnel looking. It was very weird.
It wasn't a lightsaber, but it
wasn't a lightsaber.
It was great imagination. I'll give him that much credit. Kenner, I think, those are the producers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kenner, I give him credit for their imagination, but that wasn't a lightsaber.
It's a build off. It's a build off from those flashlights they use at the airport.
That's what
those.
Yeah.
It really does work that way.
And that's, I guess they wanted to make that extension look. They, have that.
Yeah,
but it just didn't.
They tried.
I remember when I was a kid. I had, of course, those were the first ones. That was 1977. I had them in like 1983. So the figures had gotten a little bit better. Yeah, but the lightsaber didn't. I don't know what they were doing. I guess they got scared with the. They had that Boba Fett figure that supposedly shot the missile.
Murdered small children.
Yeah, right.
That was a choking hazard.
Don't eat your action figures, just as a rule.
Absolutely.
Why would you? I mean, it looks delicious, just saying, but don't consume your action figure.
Let's see if I shoot it right, if I can hit my uvula. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah. Listen to Randy.
Hey, listen. Nothing was better than the turtle van that had the pizza launcher on the top back in like the early '90s. That was battery powered and would actually put them through drywall. I mean, that was back when the toys had real power. Like these can shoot up to 50 feet. Well, what if I'm 5 foot away from drywall? Oh, I just lost the pizza.
You lost the pizza, and you lost the picture.
It's gone.
You might as well launch real manhole covers.
Yeah, no joke.
They put torque behind that stuff. It was great.
They did.
That was back in the days when you can walk into a shop, a head shop, or a paraphernalia shop and pick up a shuriken.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
That's
it's a ninja throwing star.
Silver
okay.
Yeah.
Put your finger on or killed a small animal. It's all murder with me tonight, apparently. I apologize.
It is the theme tonight is murder with
you are the toy maker.
With your action figures. That's it. I mean, that's what it promoted, right? How many action figures have you killed? I mean, really, take it apart.
I mean, well, yeah, that's very true, Mike. That's very true. I rest my case. I plead the Fifth Amendment. Yeah, I plead the Fifth. Yeah.
I mean, come on. We all come from the generation that had the killer lawn darts. I mean, somewhere out there thought it was a great idea to make lawn darts. I actually owned a set as a kid, and my brother and I played. How we never died, I don't know, but we survived without being impaled.
It was Jarts with a J. Jarts.
Natural selection.
Like
that's what it's
full of plastic you throw in your yard, and then you toss the darts up in the air and hope they didn't land in your pool.
Yeah.
So,
natural selection.
So wait, was there a lot of choking hazards back then? Because I don't remember it. I was a kid. I don't remember seeing it on the news.
Look, they made micro machines, all right? They made Hot Wheels that were this big, and they were micro machines. They were awesome. I had like the largest micro machine. Oh my gosh.
That explains a lot.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But they made micro machines.
I'm calling Child Protective Services.
They were this big. They made this thing that was supposed to be a car wash that you wound up and you put them in there and you pushed the button and it ran them through the car wash. But instead, what it ended up doing was sending your micro machines flying across the room at 100 mph, and then you're like looking everywhere because you have no idea where this tiny car went. And then they
So
took
you
it
gotta
one
get
step
more cars.
further. Not only did they make a car that you could swallow, they decided let's put batteries inside them and make them light up with headlights and taillights. So now you can swallow a car with batteries inside.
You need
Right,
to
well,
have the ion. You need to have your additional ion.
Yeah, you
Well,
need
listen,
powered by
well-
lithium ion, baby.
that's right.
Like the
Yeah.
Energizer.
Well, looking at like, okay, for instance, if we look at that this GI Joe here, now the stuff that he's coming with, like the dog tag and it looks like a hat down there, right? I mean, those are some pretty big items there. So they weren't choking on them in the '60s, right?
No.
I mean, that wasn't
I
a
don't
big
imagine.
deal.
No.
But
No,
then,
it's just made with the superior flammable clothing. So
Polyester
when you
urethane.
decided to actually use bottle rockets and firecrackers on them, they burned the house down.
hey, that's for that realistic feel. That's what that was for.
He's on fire, Mom. Get the fire extinguisher.
Get the fire extinguisher. Get the hose.
It's
get
the
garden
70s.
hose.
Who has an in-home fire extinguisher? Throw some water on it.
Yeah. I mean, these guys is only until I mean, I don't want to skip subjects, but only until they started downsizing. You know what I mean? When after the '73 oil crisis, that's when they decided to say, well, it's a lot cheaper to make them out of these 3 3/4 inch, figurines, action figures, not dolls. To get the nomenclature straight, guys, because you can't say doll to a little boy. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to sell. So that after they downsized, then we started to have the choking hazards, but no one cared.
Todd
After we
McFarlane's currently taking some shit for that.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Todd. Shout out.
Well,
to you, Todd.
somebody asked him, how come? Did you hear about that toy maker? I'm sure you did. No,
I don't
Some
think
guy asked Todd McFarlane at a conference, how come he doesn't make more action figures that have girls in them?
Oh, really?
And he went off
Ooh.
for about 5 to 10 minutes about the legalities, not the legalities, but the reality of the boys' action figure market, and how a parent wanting to reward their child for having good grades in school, for example, runs to the toy store, brings home the female action figure, and the kid gets wide-eyed and wonders what he did wrong. Couldn't you have found a hero or a villain or a monster or a robot or an alien? You had to bring me home a girl.
Well, you know, the first thing he did was he took all the clothes off to see if it was anatomically
They had any
correct.
parts.
they give him like 6-7 years. He'll want them to bring him home a girl. I mean,
You
Well,
want
that's-
that.
by then, yeah,
But-
yeah, right.
But is that true? Because I mean, I remember back you had He-Man, but then you also had She-Ra. Nobody had She-Ra.
I had She-Ra.
I had
I
She-Ra.
like She-Ra.
They
I
had
didn't
She-Ras,
have
but you
She-Ra.
didn't have them in large numbers. When you
No.
told
In production,
April
they didn't.
O'Neil was always the last turtle figure on the rack.
Well,
And
yeah,
the-
that's
the
because she
reason-
sucked, though. That's what.
Well, the reason for that is because they can't move female action figures. It doesn't work.
Well, that's like when they did the X-Men line in the early 90s. They could only do Storm and Rogue because they were the two most popular characters. They They didn't make any other of the figures.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
just
true.
they just don't think boys will want them.
Well, and the
Right.
funny thing
Yeah,
is too. Here's something funny. I was thinking about action figures and dolls earlier. Is it's funny how like Barbie and Ken are just like these figures whenever you take all their clothes off. But like, have you ever thought about the fact that like on our figures as we grew up, when you took their clothes off, they had painted on shorts. Like they knew we were all perverts. Like every single action figure has the painted on. I was like, I never thought about that. Like they must have thought all boys were perverts or something because you pull the Barbie and the Ken off and it's just skin all the way.
It's-
But
right.
any of our figurines, you pulled it off and there was like painted on clothing.
They got
underneath.
boxers and stuff. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So you had to go to these things. At the time, we call them encyclopedias. Mark that down, kids. So you had to refer to encyclopedias, which had pictures. I was like, oh, okay, so that's what's supposed to go there. You know what I mean? So I went a step further. But hey, that was me. I can't speak for anybody else. And again, I take the Fifth Amendment.
Did your encyclopedia start with a P?
They also started with a B. Oh,
Yeah,
my
you-
goodness.
you
We
Now
had
you're
the
talking about-
encyclopedias that had the little cell paintings that you can peel the person back. You turn
Yeah.
one page, there goes his skin. You turn the next page, there goes his muscles. Turn the
Yeah.
next
Yep.
page, there goes his
Oh,
capillary
right.
system.
Yeah.
Britannica did that. They're
Yeah.
they're really proficient with their visual imagery. Really proficient.
Great
What-
great
what-
influence on kids growing up.
Oh yeah. See, I came in all right. See, I'm fine.
So these are the
okay.
these are the scaled down that we were talking about. These are the Micronauts
Yes.
that they came up. You had the GI Joe was what was he, like 12 inches?
12 inches.
It's a pretty big
That's
doll,
right.
huh? I'm
Initially,
sorry, action
yes.
figure.
Initially, that's right.
Yep.
And then
And
they
so
scaled
they
them down.
They scaled down to the Micronauts. So this was a comic book, wasn't it, Randy?
Oh yeah. Marvel
Like,
had
it's very
that for
popular.
quite a while.
It's been a comic book multiple times. They even
Yeah.
brought it back, and Hasbro is trying to make it part of their shared universe now, with like ROM, the Space Knight, Transformers, all that.
Wow.
Really?
Their,
What's the
their-
story?
their
Yeah.
problem is there's certain key characters that Marvel created and they never used.
Yeah.
So like Bug and a lot of the person Marionette, was that the female name? I think
I think
that character.
another thing, some of the designs, since the designs were part of the toy line, that some of them they can use. I think
Yeah.
Acro Year. They couldn't call them Acro Year. They call them something else. But yeah,
Yeah.
Marvel did so many toy crossovers
Yeah.
during like the late 70s and early to mid 80s.
Mhm.
They own a lot of names, like a ton of names and character designs that just can't be used.
So what was this? What's did they come with a story, or did Marvel create a story for them?
They created a
Or-
story of a bunch of alternate universe. It's where Ant-Man and Wasp go to.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
they
okay.
call it the microverse.
The quantum, they call it the quantum verse now instead of the
Yeah.
microverse, because they can't call it a microverse because that name is copywritten to Hasbro.
Really? I didn't know that.
Wow.
Now you said Bug. Is that like the Guardians of the Galaxy Bug was part of this, or is that
I'm
a
not
different
sure
Bug?
which Bug is in Guardians of the Galaxy. but
He was part of the what was it? Conflict.
they had a green-looking character with mantis-like antenna
Mm-hmm.
with fly eyes, yellow belly that would
Yeah,
run
yeah.
around with a staff. Yeah, that was Bug.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
Bug.
Yeah, yeah.
And
He was in the microverse. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Those early microverse comics, by the way, still classic. Michael Golden
Hey, George.
artwork, beautiful covers. The first, I would say, half dozen of them are incredible, just absolutely incredible.
Wow.
Very classic stuff,
Okay.
especially when they're, you consider that they were made out of a toy line, but they
yeah.
were incredibly pretty, well written books.
Some
And you don't see an
problem.
Essentials, a Micronauts Essentials around there. You don't see them collected that I remember.
Oh no.
That's because of the
The whole licensing deal and everything. Yeah.
Licensing. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, like you were saying,
think,
Danny. They just
Devil's Due had them for a minute, and then IDW's had them because they've been doing a lot. They brought ROM back.
Yeah.
Like ROM
Yeah.
from Comic Oblivion. Everyone wanted ROM, and they're like, "Oh, we'll bring you ROM." It's just not the same guy, and none of his friends are there, and the Dire Wraiths don't look like Dire Wraiths because Marvel owns that. And
All of the
Marvel
Space
owns
Knights
that.
and everything
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
ROM belongs to Marvel still. Yeah.
Yeah.
They still use
Oh, man.
Space Knights every once in a while.
they do.
So by proxy, is it Disney? It's Disney, so
Yeah.
they're never going to let anything go. But
Mm-mm.
They
No,
should just sell
that
ROM. Hasbro should just sell ROM and Micronauts to Disney and just be done.
just be done with it. But no,
Eventually,
that's
if they feel it necessary, they'll just come in and buy it.
that's what I was thinking. They'll
That's
just
all.
buy
That's what-
Hasbro.
Just like they bought Fox, they decided that's the only way they're going to get the
Yeah.
rights back to those key characters. Hey, guess what? We're acquiring them.
not requiring you.
Yep.
Yeah. Take that.
Stuck them up
grind
like
it
a
back.
straw. Yeah.
Sure did.
They might
drank
do
their
that.
milk.
They might do that with Micronauts, but it really doesn't matter anymore because they're using that quantum name all over. The next Ant-Man is Quantum Mania, where they're going to be running around in that universe pretty heavily. So,
That's right.
from what I
So
understand.
they're disinterested. Yeah.
I
can
mean,
see
it's
that.
already been introduced. It was introduced in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and
It was introduced in Ant-Man, technically. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, true. That's true. So, Damion,
Yes.
you are a toy person. I don't ask me how
I'm
I
a toy
know.
person.
He is. He's the toy.
Mm.
The toy
Mm.
Oh,
maker.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant I was a toy. Only to my wife. No joke.
I caught
sorry,
that.
Sorry.
I caught that.
Sorry.
That's part of the vows, isn't it?
Love, honor, and never mind. Go ahead.
Happiness and Slavery. That's a Nine Inch Nails song, kids. Look it up. 1992. Go ahead.
do need toys,
You're
yes.
the pastor now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the bride and her toy.
And
They didn't even have a cake topper. They just put Damion on top of the
They
cake.
just put
We had
Damion.
Funko Pop. We had Funko Pops in our
There's the
toy
Funko
toppers. We had Belle and the Beast. From the
Oh,
movie.
did ya?
They did from the live action movie. They just were really pretty and they were cool. We had Groot.
Shiny.
We had a 6-inch Groot because my wife and I bonded over Groot. So we had like a 6-inch Funko Groot on our table.
Cool.
Like, we had our reception. It was great.
We didn't have a cool
That's-
wedding.
That's how much I like toys.
So what was your first toy? What was your first action figure that really got you?
Prince Adam.
Okay,
Not even He-Man. Prince Adam.
Prince Adam.
Prince Adam.
It's a haircut. Yeah.
Wow.
It's that pink shirt.
I would say it's a skin tight pink shirt.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it showed off a lot. I mean, it was really fitting. You know what I'm saying? It's appealing.
and
it would fit them
he's
in.
not He-Man at all. He's a totally different dude.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
It's yeah, absolutely.
But,
Really? Though, really? Never.
Yeah, the first one, actually, I take that back. The first one I remember was a Mego Fonzie.
Oh god.
Amigo Fonzie. I loved that thing. And I'm sorry, Randy.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm still stuck on the fact that him and
Entirely
his
not
wife
your fault.
bonded over wood. I mean,
Russ.
Oh.
Yes.
But yeah, and I mean, to the point, loved that thing to the point where like he was naked by the time he broke. He was. I had like the
You were
thumb,
bonding.
The thumb was left. He
The
like
thumb was, of course. If anything's gonna be left of a
Good
Fonzie
job.
figure, it better be the thumb.
so he was naked before he broke. Did he have painted on boxers?
he did.
See, there we go. It's a
He
thing.
had the boxers.
He had the boxers.
Russ is blowing the
He might have
lid
had a
off of
white
this.
figure,
This is
too. Like, if he
conspiracy.
might have had that type of shirt.
Were they white
They
with
had
red
that-
stripes or were they black?
What? Like, what are you wearing?
They were red with white
Yeah,
hearts
he's-
on them.
They were,
Right,
Yeah, I mean, it's Prince Adam.
White with red
50s,
hearts
those
on 'em,
tidy
yeah.
whities. They
Tidy
were,
whities.
Tidy whities. Okay.
The little white.
But still,
front.
they're painted on.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. For those figures, if you had an animal or dog, you forget it. That was it. Them things would
Oh,
shoot
yeah.
up. And those
no,
were the best
that's
dog
fine.
toys for them.
Usually by
I
your
have
animal or
the
dog.
power.
Look at that. Show off those quadriceps. You know what I'm saying?
So what was it about Prince Adam that inspired you? Not necessarily He-Man or
technically nothing. I did not like Prince Adam. I didn't. I got it in. I didn't want it. I wanted He-Man. My parents were those. I had those parents that were like, it says He-Man on the box. Doesn't that mean? Doesn't that mean
No.
He-Man's in it? No,
No, it doesn't.
it means
Hmm.
nothing.
get you. What is it? Man of many faces. Oh, hey, look, He-Man.
I mean, look, at least it wasn't like my parents, where my parents went to like those antique stores and they had the bins with like the mystery bag, and they'd be like, "Oh, go get you one of the $5 mystery bags," and you get Splinter or you get Shredder. He's got missing an arm and a leg, and like his head's missing. You just got like one arm, the body, and a leg,
Yeah.
and like one of the accessories that went with the vehicle that came with them, and so you had to buy all the other goodie bags to get the rest of the accessories.
It
And
was like
by
a
the
mix
time
and
you
match.
collected enough of them, somebody had bought half of it. So you had half of a vehicle and 3/4 of figurines. I mean, they all got blown up anyway on the 4th of July. So
Oh, there you go. It didn't matter. It came with broken toys. So what, Russ? Was that your first, or what was your first action figure?
man, my first action figure was GI Joes, the smaller ones when they scaled them down. I had GI Joes and I had the Thundercats and
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, Thundercats. Oh,
Thundercats.
yeah.
Those are some big action figures.
Thundercats.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
looking at that commercial. Them things were big. I mean,
Yep.
they weren't the GI Joe size, but for
No,
what
they were
we had
larger.
back then, they were some pretty heavy duty toys.
They're
But yeah, I
heavy.
had Masters of the Universe, GI Joe, and then like I said, I had Thundercats, and then I moved on. I had the Turtle figurines. I had the actual. That was like one of the only. Those were the only figurines that I actually got them off the shelf. It was later on when like I would get the goodie bags, and I'm like, what is this?
What does this go to?
What is this?
Well, you know what? They ended up cashing in on that kind of thing because eventually you did have the mix and match figures. They're like, oh, well, these kids are going to do that anyway. Let's sell it to them.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially He-Man, because you
That's-
can take the arms off. You can swap arms with other people.
Yeah.
I was always mad Fisto didn't have the other fist. So I wanted to give He-Man 2 giant power fists.
They didn't do it, and they just
You had to go buy them and have. Well, you couldn't do that anyway because he'd be that arm backwards. So, but go ahead.
That's why there's a huge 3D printing market. I'm telling
There
you, because people want what they want, and
I
they're like,
believe
"I'll
that.
make it myself." Like they don't want to wait for Hasbro or Kenner. Well, not Kenner, but the other companies to mess with it.
Right.
Well, and the worst part is thinking back when we had all these figurines and stuff, like we decimated these things. We played with them rough. We played with them hardcore. And there's like still probably pieces of these at the house that I grew up in, like buried somewhere out in the yard. And you go on eBay and they're selling for like $800, $900, $1,000. And I'm like, I must buy this house and dig up the art. Maybe I can reassemble one. It's like a Franken Joe.
I look at some of those guys that still have it in the box and it's still pristine and everything, and they're about my age, and I'm like,
how did you do it?
How did you do it?
What is wrong?
What's wrong with you?
Did you buy two of everything? You opened one and left the other one pristine. Yeah, because like the only thing I really kept really good care of was my Inhumanoids. Like I absolutely loved the show Inhumanoid. Like it aired and then it was like gone forever. And somehow my grandma got a VHS of the entire series. And so like every time in the summer I go up to my grandma's, I take my Inhumanoid figurines up there and I'd watch Inhumanoids and I'd battle them, decompose. And it's like, you know, I had one of those moms that like I would be at school and it'd be like, all right, time to, you know, reconciliate all the toys and scale down. And I'd come home and like, you know, $1,000 worth of Legos and all my figurines would be in the trash. Oh, your birthday and Christmas is coming up. So, you know, I decided to make room for my, and I had like this giant 3-foot mech that I built out of Legos. And I used like pieces from like some of the other sets. And this thing was awesome. Like I spent probably a month building it in the trash. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. You've got stick. Look at that. You see that?
So is this Inhumanoids? I've never heard of them. I'm not familiar with them.
They were monsters that came from under the earth.
Yep.
Really?
Humans had to fight them. And they were big. I mean, they were like, some were like a foot and a half tall. Like,
yeah. So these were the superheroes, and then like on the right, that green dude that's $585 that looks like decomposed there. But yeah, those were the guys that fought them. Yo, that's Tendrils. Yeah, so there's Tendrils, and there was Decomposed, and then there was a Magma guy.
Decomposed had the chest jail too.
Yep, he had the chest jail. He would take the guys in their exosuits and he would put them in his chest.
Why did I never have this? Oh my god!
Oh my god, guys! Inhumanoids is awesome. I ended up finding the Blu-ray. There he was. That was Decomposed.
That's Decomposed. Yeah, buddy.
What? I have never seen these.
Oh my god, Inhumanoids was awesome, and now it's making like a comeback. Yeah, there's Decomposed again. He was freaking awesome, and there's all three of them. Oh man, it was my favorite show, and I found it on Blu-ray, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta get these!" And yeah, it's only the first 5 episodes. The other 3, I gotta figure out how to get the last 3.
Wow! And when
did they do a comic book on them?
That might be why.
Yeah, there was a comic book. Number 1's going for like over $1,000 and a 9.8 because I was looking into getting it because I mean, Inhumanoids was big for me. Oh my gosh, it was such an awesome show. As a kid growing up, it was just this was my jam.
Yeah.
You're taking me back in the time machine, man.
Really, this must have been right before I was old enough to really get into this stuff, man. I wish this was still around.
Man, I would kill to get a hold of some of this stuff. Like my grandpa just passed away in January, and you know, I was kind of walking around the house, and I asked my grandma. I said, "You wouldn't happen to still have that Inhumanoids VHS, would you?" Because like the VHS itself is going for upwards like anywhere from $800 to $1,200, and I don't want it to sell it. I want it just because it's something I grew up on. It was memories of going to my grandparents in the summer,
Yeah.
and she's like, I don't know where it is, and I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me, because I'd love to let my kids watch it, and on
Yeah, it's
VHS,
one of
because
those-
she had the
Yeah,
whole
absolutely.
series, and I
And
still have a
only-
VCR. Yes, everyone, I have a VCR still, because some
Yeah,
movies
I've still got a couple stacked over here. But Inhumanoids only lasted 8 episodes.
Yep,
Hmm.
that was it.
What channel was that on?
Yeah, what channel?
Oh
Remember?
man, I don't even remember. I think it was channel 2. It was 2 or 4
Like-
where I live.
Like
It
maybe
wasn't,
ABC?
No, it was syndicated, so it didn't come. It came on like in the afternoons,
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
only after school cartoons.
Yeah.
Yep.
so it's kind of like NBC or whatever. Yeah.
It was
yeah,
like
that's what you're
anybody
saying.
that wanted to pick it up was
Yeah,
able to
they
pick
Wants
it up.
to pick it up, right?
Smaller
Yeah.
local channels would pick it up, and there were tons of those in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
God, look at that thing.
That's so cool.
Is that cool?
Oh my gosh, it was
Plus, they could
awesome.
toys.
It was so all the stuff they had was cool, and I had the toys. My mom threw them all away, and there's like no way I could afford to buy them again. I would want them just for the nostalgia, because they were
Just for
such.
nostalgia.
Yeah, it was such a
Yeah.
cool concept. I mean, look at this. Like, none of the cartoons we watched as kids had really cool stuff like that. And I love the exosuits. The exosuits on these guys were awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
So they were humans underneath here?
yeah, those were the
okay.
exosuits that they got in to battle the Inhumanoids, because one of them had like acid and the other one controlled magma, and then basically decomposed anything he touched or put inside of them. And so these exosuits protected them.
Okay.
Oh man, oh yeah, man.
Golly, and-
$100 bucks a figure.
86.
And they must have a pretty good following for that, but
There is.
There's something Kirby-esque about it. That's why I was kind of
There really is.
the round and the rectangles and everything. That's right. Oh wow, cool. So Randy, how about
Yeah.
yourself, sir? We talked about the moss-covered GI Joe? Was that the?
Well, I never had one moss covered GI Joe. My brothers did, I believe, but we were so poor. My brothers would make their own toys, and then when I got older, I was too poor to afford the action figure boom that
Right.
happened because I was busy buying comics that were gaining ground to 75 to $1 to $1.25 to $1.50 to $2 to but
Right.
I always missed out on that. I do have a Superpowers Dr. Fate up above me still on the card,
That's
which I love. I got given to me by a friend of mine. And I've picked up a few other odd action figures along the way. I've got a Space Ghost Coast to Coast still on the card with it, complete with desk
Wow.
that I
That's
like.
awesome.
And I picked up the Jay and Silent Bob talking figures that were out, along with the dog and with the large anyway, and the all of the other add-ons that were brought in. I think it was Jay came with 2 or 3 different fists that include different gestures.
Yeah. It looks like wood.
They said a few things, yeah. But that
I know
was
they had a few-
back when I was into Kevin Smith's stuff. So
Is that like the realistic kind, or is that the kind that are like off the cartoon that they had for a little bit?
oh no, they were a little like a mutation of both of those.
Right.
Not quite totally cartoony, not quite serious.
Okay.
It take me a few minutes to dig them up, but they're back there. Plus all of the McDonald's toys that used to come
Oh
out.
yeah, that's a whole
Oh,
show in
yeah.
itself.
That was
That's
pretty
a
much
whole
it.
buddy.
Yeah. I've got a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
run of the Looney Tune Justice League characters.
Oh, I remember that.
Some
With
of
the
those
snap
are
on,
doubles. Yes, yeah, they had a snap-on outfit
Yeah.
that went around them. Yeah, I think pardon me, excuse me. I think I might even have doubles on most of those.
This probably are going for some money now. I mean,
Yeah, be
I
honest
just
with
thought
you,
they were
McDonald's,
cool.
Burger King
That's why I
stuff.
hung on to them. Yeah.
A lot of that
Well,
stuff
there's-
will go for $20-$30 a pop.
oh look, they're selling chicken nuggets now as pops. The chicken nuggets that they used to sell at McDonald's used to come in,
Yeah.
whenever they run out of stuff to sell you. And Happy Meal, they used to have little chicken nuggets that had hair or played guitar or whatever. Now I saw a pop that the other day. I said, "Hey, I used to get those for free."
Yeah.
I mean, I get it for free.
Yeah, you used to get it for
My
free.
parents would have to. My mom would have to pay for it, but still,
There was a time when grown-up people used to buy them Happy Meals just to get the toys.
Yeah.
I still
And wait, they'd sit there and know what day the new toys came out, so they'd be there and buy a Happy Meal with that toy in it because they had to have that toy.
They had a Legion of Superheroes when that cartoon was out about a decade ago. They had a whole set of Legion of Superheroes.
I
seven or
know
eight.
exactly where those are. I will be right back.
Oh,
I've got a couple of those.
They looked amazing. They looked exactly like the cartoon. Like, it was very cool. It makes me sad to walk down the toy aisles because there's nothing cool. Like, that's why I collect Funkos, because that's as cool. It's as cool as it gets. No, it's the only thing where you're going to be able to find cool, weird, kitschy, kind of neat stuff. Like that feeling you got when you were a kid and you got a new toy. That's why I collect them, because I still get that from these.
Oh, you like Funko Pops? Yeah. Okay.
Do I?
Do you? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say about them,
I like Spider-Man.
Spider.
But one thing I can say about them is at least they touch on subjects and stuff that you never got a toy for anyway.
They're really. I was really into the Legion cartoon when it came out.
It's so
and
good.
that when who was it? McDonald's, I think it was, had these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, make Mickey D's.
They came in books.
Look at that.
They look like little books.
Look at that.
That when you opened them up, there was a little mini comic along with the figure.
That's so cool.
And that was back in the day when McDonald's was cool and you could go through as an adult and order like a cheeseburger and be like, "Hey, can I get a McDonald's toy with that?"
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
and then
what
you had
Randy was saying.
These a-holes, just like the stuff with Target and Walmart that would go in and wipe out all the new Star Wars figurines and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you go to McDonald's now and, like when they had the Pokemon cards. My kids love Pokemon and I grew up with Pokemon and I played it in school with some of the other kids. And they wouldn't even let me buy these. They had the celebration packs.
Oh my!
No, they wouldn't let me buy them, and they won't let you buy the toys either.
My Validus
like when they have the cool.
Is gone. I have no idea what happened.
I actually, as a 36-year-old, bought Happy Meals just so I could get Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And these are unopened.
It's my bouncing boy.
There's bouncing boy.
Oh, you're
man!
Such a great great series. I keep hoping HBO Max is going to get it and run it. That was really a good cartoon.
They're on the DC. They're under DC on there.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, I'll double check.
Well, I will definitely double check.
Pokemon pack. Yeah.
Because that show was awesome until the end of the second season, and then it went
I'm almost tempted to open them.
straight into the gut. Really bad.
Don't do it, Russ.
I've never watched it. I don't.
They were working their way towards the Darkness saga. It would have been incredible. That's a famous story in the Legion of Superheroes where Darkseid comes back and clones a bunch of the early bunch of the Justice Leaguers and has them in like darkened apocalypse rebooted versions of these clones go out and fight the Legion.
Cool.
Oh, so that's where NetherRealm Studio got that idea from, for like Mortal Kombat. What was the Necromancer's name? I forget his name, damn it. But anyway, when
Shao Kahn.
Yeah,
there's the other guy.
What was really cool
not Shang
is
Tsung.
They kept running across these characters that had similar powers, to the old Justice League, and then come to find out Darkseid's behind them, and they're like, "Holy crap!
Like,
where the hell did you come from?" I am eternal. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
All right,
like
cool.
you are, like you do. So Stone, how about yourself, sir? You're an action figure person?
Something. I kind of share a similar history with Randy here. We're so poor, we really couldn't afford a whole bunch of them. So we had like Legos, and I would see this is post-Reagan era, right?
Right.
And that guy, Necromancer.
Quan Chi.
Quan Chi.
Oh,
sorry.
No, you're fine. And we had like some Legos or whatever, and we tried to emulate, or I tried to emulate some of the action figures, but we finally got an opportunity to like get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know what I'm saying? Like Raphael, Michelangelo, et cetera, et cetera. And then Then up comes the Batman animated series, and they started releasing those figures in dollar stores. I was like, oh crap! So then we could afford getting the Joker, Mark Hamill's Joker, right? And get Batman. So I had the Batman. He had like this launcher or whatever. It was like a bolt or something, and it's really cool. And then I got the Joker, which came in the same year. And the Joker had like this water pack. You could fill it with water, and you could spray. It was almost like acid, but it was because it was trying to mimic an episode. I forget what number in the Batman animated series. But as a kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, this thing has a lot of power. It's just like we said. I'm going to harken back to that subject. That launcher from Batman, it was powerful. It would stick in the wall. I was like, all right. So one day, I'm playing with this darn thing. Wouldn't you know it? About right in my eye. Okay, I'm not blind. I'm not blind, but some days I'm just like, why does my eye hurt? Oh yeah, that one time, yeah, I was playing with. But and so that kind of diminished my parents' affinity for getting some action figures. But the great news about that was when I go over to like some of my cousin's house, and they would have the GI Joes, they had the He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and stuff like that. So I would be able to play with the action figures. And that's how I learned about all of them. Not just from the commercials, because remember, post-Reagan, well, during the Reagan era, and he lifted all those regulations, including from the toy industry. Damion, you know all about this. And so during that time, well, before that time, the FCC had a regulation that you couldn't have more than 7 seconds or something that was animated in a commercial. It had to be a 30-second segment if you're going to make a commercial, but you had 7 seconds within that 30-second segment to make it animated. Well, then when Reagan came along, boom, he got rid of that. And so then you start to see a whole bunch of these. Everyone took off, and they started making all these wild cartoons and stuff. Yeah. So 83 onward, you start to see a lot of that stuff. So when I was seeing G.I. Joe and Cobras and stuff, I was like, man, that would be so cool. So I got to play with all that stuff that like my cousins. They're like my age now. I right. They still got them. But it was cool to me because seeing that they had like all the points. These were like 10-point action figures by this time, especially like late 80s, early 90s. Industry caught on to, optimizing, I guess, your action figures. So you could do a whole lot. It's just like Russ was saying, man. We were in an apartment, so I didn't have an opportunity then to put firecrackers on my action figures because I only had so many. So what I did, if 4th of July came around, visit my cousin's house, we would blow his up. And so, because I'm like, hey, they're not mine. I'm still taking care of mine. So it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in my collection. I don't have them, but I don't know what the heck happened to them. But I kept my Batman. I don't know how, but my Batman and my Joker from like 91 or 1990. Now I give them to my nephew, and they still work. They still work a little bit. Yeah, a little, paint's rubbed off.
You might be giving them $500 toys to play with now, Stones. I mean. Yeah,
they're $500-$600 now, but I'm just like, screw it.
Exactly. Sometimes those memories are a lot more than any money you can get out of that.
That's correct. That's
the point.
So
toys played with.
So here's a fun question though, Stone. What was the dumbest thing you've ever done with an action figure? So my dumbest thing I ever did with an action figure, not knowing, being 5 or 6 years old, was as they were scaling the walls in my imaginary scenario, I decided it was a great idea to anchor one of the figurines in the outlet in the wall, and I jump started my heart.
Oh, so you found out what a defibrillator was,
Yeah, I mean, that was back when, you had the die-cast metal figurines. Yeah. They weren't plastic, and they had metal swords. And I was like, I'll stick it in the socket so we can hang there. The action figure ended up stuck in the ceiling because we had a high ceiling. I threw it because it shocked me. And the sword literally stuck in the ceiling. My parents are like, how did that end up there? And I'm like, I don't know. I stuck it in that thing, and it didn't feel good. They're like, you can't stick stuff in the outlet.
And then I didn't feel good. Huh? But
what did I do?
But you're 5. You're trying to learn the world. And listen, boys take a lot of risks. Boys, even grown dudes, we still take a lot of risks. Just like I mentioned earlier, storm chasing. It's a big risk if you don't know what you're doing. But the dumbest thing I did with my action figures I think. Oh man, what's this?
There's my space.
No, it was at home. Oh, look at that Space Ghost! You dug up the
sweet.
Space Ghost. Can we get some? Can we enhance that? Can we enhance that?
Yeah. Hold on.
Enhance.
I got it.
Enhance.
Boom.
You got it. Yeah.
The desk is
Man,
back
take a look at
behind
that.
him there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is so. Yeah. Agreed.
Fully
I need that
articulated knees, ankles, wrists, arms,
Wow.
shoulders.
That is absolutely amazing.
It's a nice.
dude.
It's a beautiful little toy.
You're
Well,
not gonna
action
see
figure. Sorry, it's a
Did
beautiful
you
action
pick that up
figure.
at a con?
Toy.
Or?
I'm bringing
Art
back
Asylum, from Art Asylum.
Oh, the sun.
Nice.
Just fantastic.
You don't have the other ones, huh? Or just Space Ghost?
No, it can't.
No,
It's
Brack as
Zorak, Moltar, and
Moltar.
and Brack
Moltar.
were also available, but believe me, it was Space Ghost for me because of the design.
Right.
More than the show. You know,
Brack.
I figured.
probably-
Go ahead.
Sorry, I got you. I was just gonna say the other two are going for huge money
Are they?
because they made so few because everybody wanted
Yeah.
Space Ghost.
But for me, that was as close to a Space Ghost figure I was ever going to get, so I had to pick it up. So
Oh, but wait, Stone, there's more. Look at this.
Look at Thunderjaw. No freaking
Thunderjaw.
way, dude. Are you kidding?
Yeah, so
I love
GameStop
that.
went out of business, and this is like a $50 pop. They only had two of them. One of the legs was broke off on it, but this one wasn't. And I got it for like $13
cool.
when they
Wow,
were
that's a steal,
closing
dude.
up. So I was like, I couldn't pass up Aloy and Thunderjaw. You know, the game is just so awesome. The story's great to it. I
The name of the
wish I could
game-
play the second one.
Yeah.
The name of the game, guys, is Horizon Zero Dawn. It was launched in like 2016, if I'm not mistaken, Russ, and for the PlayStation, PlayStation 4
Yep.
series, and legendary stuff. It's beautifully written, etc. And that's a great steal. That's
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
I tell you, that's some great stuff.
Well, yeah. Now you're
Um,
talking about toys, everything toys, because we're not using action figures anymore. That's right. We're stopped saying we're bringing back
Are we-
toys,
are we-
Damian.
I'm bringing back toys.
We're
Bring back toys. Okay, let's do it.
I'm bringing back the word toys. It's not just for adults anymore.
That's
Anyway,
not just for
yeah, but I do.
I don't know. I had a
Excuse
stroke
me.
there
Ooh.
for a second. What's going on?
seasonal allergies, man.
Wow.
You know, respiratory.
I've also got a set of Babylon 5 micro machines.
What?
Still on.
You got
No. You got some of the
Oh.
micro machines?
All of the ships, beautifully done. Just
Oh my god, micro machines were so awesome. I had like hundreds of them. And
yeah.
I don't even know what happened to them. They had to go on one of my mom's purges.
Look at that. Now that's
cool.
That's a figurine, if we can say so appropriately. It's a figurine of Xeno Knight. That's your
Raziel, Xenonanite Titan.
yeah. Look at that. And
Looking
this is-
into
this-
producing these.
Captain Pouch.
This-
Captain Pouch.
Captain Pouch. He's got a lot of places to store his belongings. Let's put
Hey,
it
stop
like
looking
that.
at his pouch, man. That's inappropriate.
Yeah. Can we stop
Oh,
looking
sweet.
at that? Oh, look at that. Hey.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My character from my comic book.
Oh, awesome. Good for you.
That is
I didn't
I
make
like
it.
it.
Somebody else made this. My wife got this for me like 2-3 years ago. So.
Nice.
Oh, isn't that see
She
that?
was in my dreams.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna cry in the shower later after the show because that's so. Excuse me.
So Damian, you're bringing toys back. You make toys, man. We need to talk, man, because I got this Cat and Piggy Girl coming up, and I would love to do like a limited run of that to try to help raise more money to send books to the hospitals, man. I think a short run action figures would be cool.
I'd love
Hey,
to
you have
have
one of your
Robot
action, you
Zero
have one of your
too.
figures
That'd
that
be
you can
crazy.
show. I know we're gonna show.
I grabbed the nebulizer. I have
Oh yeah.
Yep, you got Brian Rodman's the nebulizer.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's take a look at that.
and
Yeah.
my wife does all the painting, and I design the figures, print them.
That's so cool.
Nice.
Shout out
It's
to
the
the
only-
Just like you do.
Like it's got his
Look
little
at that.
in the back and everything. It's got his little vents,
Looks
got little
awesome.
vents on the feet. I'm
Yeah.
finally getting hip and knee articulation.
Oh, sweet.
So we're gonna have
That's
we're gonna have
cool.
like 5 points of articulation instead of 3.
Cool.
Sweet. And if for anybody who's watching Brian Robin's Nebulizer, which I think he has a Kickstarter either now or coming up for the second
It's coming
issue.
up for Nebulizer 2.
And that's a really wild comic about asthma and the dangers of asthma.
It's great. It really is fun 90s cartoon and toy inspired, and there's stuff coming up. I'll just put it that way. I'll let him come on here.
I don't have it. Only, in fact, you'll see me. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure my wife is wearing the hat now, but we got the cap with the little
the beanies.
The beanie, yeah, but it has the
They make the best beanies. I've got the memoirs. I wear the memoirs all the time.
Yeah.
It fits your head. It's comfortable. It doesn't smash your hair down. Like, it's a nice hat.
Damion, what was the other Kickstarter you did a figurine for? You did another one here not too long ago.
Apex. I don't know if I have an Apex sitting around here. I don't think I have it around here. Kenny Aiken, his Apex character. It's an Apex Cybernetic Samurai Owl. Is the name of the book. I think I might have the book sitting there. I do.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you did another one. I can't think of what it was. It was Apex was one of them.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Apex. I've done. Luke Stone. I did hybrids.
Hybrids. Yeah.
I did
Trash Man.
And that was only like the second figure I'd done.
Really?
I really like the way it came out. It looked really nice.
Trash Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Trash Man.
Trash Man.
But Sal brought up something that's interesting, and this, like, now we're starting to see toys based on video games and stuff. But back then, they would make cartoons based on toys just to make you buy toys.
Correct.
Now, when I was a kid, I didn't know that. I remember seeing the cartoon. I didn't care. Did anybody feel betrayed when you found out that was basically a 30-minute long commercial?
You know how that started? The first one of those was Smurfs.
Mm-hmm.
Smurfs are little. Then they sold a bunch of little plastic figurines for it.
Yeah.
And those were quality, nice molded stuff.
Oh,
as
yeah.
long as you didn't mind bending them, they were pretty awesome. Pardon?
Hale was not thrilled about them making Smurf toys.
Yeah.
And he really didn't like the cartoon. But he had eyes on his stuff, so he was okay with it. Even though he wasn't making a lot of money off the toys too. Like, a lot of
the comic strips a lot more adult oriented than the kids cartoon was. A lot more.
Like Johan and Pee-wee. Pee-wee's a little Randy dude. He's like what's his name from Dragon Ball Z? The old guy. I can't think of his name.
Master Roshi.
Thank you. That's like Pee-wee from Smurfs.
Yeah.
He acted
From
like
Smurfs.
That. And in the cartoon, he's like
total pervert.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
seriously?
They had to water some characters. They had to water a lot of characters down from. Yeah. That's what Randy's saying. From the comic strip to the it wasn't for kids. It's what we're saying. It wasn't for kids. But
a lot of those European strips are more family and older, young adult, what we would consider young adult now, oriented than aimed at kids. Mm-hmm. It's just that over here in the States, we have this horrible, still preconceived notion that cartoons are for kiddies.
Yeah, we were talking about that
primarily, and it's very difficult to get past that stigma and to have animation grow up. It looked like it was going to in the 70s and 80s, and then it got squashed again.
You do have a lot of people that have grown up recently on.
You've got a whole generation that's grown up on Batman animated and X-Men animated.
Yeah,
that realize that cartoons, or animation is really a viable form. Anything DC animates is worth watching. Yeah. It's just the way it is. Anything, even the oddball stuff like Justice League Dark is slow and trudgy, but but Young Justice, in my mind, is the best realistic superhero cartoon that they've ever done. Classic superhero work. Yeah. Outside of Legion also holds up really well until towards the end.
Legion is not on HBO Max, but the reason why is because they are making a new Legion animated series.
Oh,
it won't be the same because
but it's going to be more in line with Young Justice.
Yeah, well, that'll be awesome. But they're bringing Legion into Young Justice anyway. If you've watched that cartoon,
I haven't recently.
Oh man! Ever since HBO picked it up, when it was on Cartoon Network, they stopped showing it because it was too adult.
Correct.
It was getting too. It's the same
violent,
reason Disney,
too
the
much,
Disney
yeah.
Channel, stopped showing the Clone Wars animated, was because the
pulled
Clone Wars was getting awesome and dark, and they thought it was too intense for kids. The same thing with Cartoon Network. They decided that wasn't their demographic, so they stopped investing in the show. Well, HBO Max knows better because they know they've gone another 1.5 seasons beyond what Cartoon Network had. And if you haven't seen the last season of Young Justice, it is amazing. It's got an origin for Zatara in it. It's got all the magic-based characters running through it. Dr. Fate is real prominent. Zatanna is real prominent. It's just an excellently done show. And one, tying back into what we're talking about, it really deserves an entire action figure line because those character designs are primo. And it's all, and this is one of those shows, they gender swapped Aqualad and did all sorts of strange, unusual things with it, but it's all cool because the cartoon is awesome.
Because they did well in the execution. I hadn't seen the last season.
No, incredibly well in the execution.
Yeah, incredibly well. So that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking as you were speaking. I was like, I remember Young Justice until they pulled it, and then they, HBO Max picked it up, but I didn't know they took it like a season and a half beyond it. So I've got to.
There's one whole season where they're dealing with the Justice League, and some crap has happened with the main core characters. They got to go off on a galactic courtroom drama, while all the secondary league characters are trying to fill the gap along with Young Justice. You've got another episode where they break when they find out the crap that the Justice League's been pulling, just like what they did in Identity Crisis.
Identity Crisis, yeah.
But look, what they were doing. That the league basically breaks up and they start the Outsiders.
Well, okay, but let me ask you this question. You say that it needs an action figure line. So are we kind of at this point in time now that we need to have two different types of action figures, one for adults and one for kids?
I think they should have never stopped that. I think that there needs to be a distinction, because how are you going to get the older audience if you don't start them when they're young?
That's what I was wondering.
This is Marvel and DC's big mistake with not pursuing a younger audience or a more diverse audience immediately back in the 80s when they had X-Men rolling with Jubilee. Jubilee was a perfect ramp-on character. Very hot, very, accessible. They would not do it, just like they never did a permanent Storm series. They try a couple mini series here and there, and maybe they gave her own book back in the 90s or 2000. But that's a legacy character that they always should have had running, always.
Right.
And they should have brought on talent to keep that book alive.
They should have, yeah.
Unlike Captain Marvel, but that's a whole different story. They should have kept Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to
That's
me
a Zimcast. That's tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. Okay, yeah, that's tomorrow.
And that's what I was wondering, like with this new Batman. This new Batman is a very dark new Batman, and you see the toys.
Well, I think you've seen Todd McFarlane grow that market for adult action
and that's
figures.
Great. That's great. That's fine. But like you said, and that's what worries me too, is okay, if you're going to do that, but you also have to have something for kids. You can't just have
absolutely
a Batman movie and try to sell toys off of that and thinking kids are going to jump onto this dark, dismal Batman that's more realistic. It's not going to work. So that's why I'm wondering if there needs to be kind of a separation, because you can go to the Walmart aisle and you can find the Batman toys for the movie. It's like, what's the point of that? They should actually now have an adult aisle.
Well, they should have a whole series of evergreen Batman animated series action figures.
Agreed.
They've already got the molds for them. All they got to do is make them.
Just make them. It's that simple. Yeah.
It's not a matter of
materials or any sort of shortage or any of that
R&D or any of that. All of the molds are already sitting there and done. They they got to do is restart
collecting
them.
Dust. Yeah.
Probably. Who knows if they haven't thrown them out,
Yeah.
So.
Well, the first Batman, the toys that Stone was talking about, wasn't that Kenner?
I believe so. I think that's correct. Kenner was over.
I know McDonald's had a great set of Happy Meal toys that were Batman animated. Cherry.
Kenner had the DC license, and they were making Superman, and they're making DC character toys.
Mhm.
So I think they had the
Yeah.
license for the Batman animated series at first.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
at some point, Hasbro bought Kenner. Like back
That's
in the
right. Hasbro bought Kenner like in 80 something, like 83 or something. And I was like,
isn't somebody else coming in buying Hasbro now? Or am I
like
mistaken?
I'm not sure.
You know
about
anything
that,
about
man.
that, Damien?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, I could be. That could just be.
There's so many acquiring and
Yeah, I
things
know.
to do
It
right now.
still
There was-
happens all the time.
Back
Good
when the
Lord.
Batman and Superman animated series was running, they had a Wonder Woman all prepped to go that they never went through and did during the Paul Dini days, because I've got a how to draw book on how to draw the animated Wonder Woman characters. Creeper was in it. Question was in it. There was some really awesome. It looked like it was going to be a great show, but
They nixed it.
it's really a good how to draw book too.
To answer your question, Stone, Kenner was bought by Tonka in 1987.
Tonka.
87. Okay.
Yeah, but
There's
now
a
that's
toy
Tonka.
line.
Wait,
That's-
but Tonka,
okay.
including Kenner, was purchased by the toy company Hasbro in mid 1991.
Okay.
Okay.
And of course, we
okay.
know Kenner's claim to fame was what brought them to it was Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Those Star
Yeah.
Wars toys blew that market up.
They blew G.I. Joe out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
I remember
Well, they did, but-
the story of the Kenner people going through the DC files and pulling out all of these characters and going, these characters are phenomenal. We're going to do toys on this. What do you think about these? And DC looked at it and went, these are all Kirby New Gods characters. What the hell you want to do those for?
Oops.
Those would be going for 400 a piece right now.
Yeah.
The what? Did you say
Wow.
what?
Those would be going for like 400 a piece now.
The superpowers or the
Oh, if they made Kirby New Gods figures back then,
okay.
Oh,
They'd be
yeah,
going
they
for
would- they
huge
would be
money.
Oh
going,
yeah. Yeah, they would.
Wow.
Yeah, heck yeah.
It's rumored Disney is working to
Could
buy
you-
Hasbro.
But could you
Not
imagine
surprised.
an Orion with the add-on
Oh,
of the
please.
jet?
Oh man.
there's our problem. There's our ROM and Micronauts problem solved. If they buy
Metron,
Hasbro,
Yep.
Metron with the
there you
chair.
go.
Yeah.
You know, that all
Problem
started
solved.
then buying Marvel and all this. It all started in Star Wars. It started because Disney Channel was pushing girl-oriented material, and they had a
Mhm.
secondary channel that was their boy channel. So that's when
Mhm.
they started looking at these other properties to buy,
Yeah, Disney.
and it's changed the landscape. Like
Disney XD. That really, I think that
Yeah,
really
Disney XD.
that didn't work out too well for them at all.
I tried watching Disney XD. I'm just like, what are they doing? Who made
they
this
Doctor
They-
Who
on
on
Tuesday
Disney
morning?
XD for a while.
They did what?
They had Doctor
They had
Who on Disney XD. It was crazy.
Which Doctor Who?
Tenant.
Tenant.
Okay.
probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
10.
It was
Well,
like
all
this
right.
season.
At least they nabbed quality stuff to show.
Yeah, something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna have a couple. Let me go and throw up a couple of bumps. We'll talk some more about this and see.
Because
What these
there's
guys
an
have got to
awesome
offer.
Doctor Who channel now on Pluto that's everything from Hartnell to McCoy.
That's
That
a
they
whole
play
nother
24/7. Yeah, that is a whole nother show.
show. All right, hold on.
Sorry.
All right, I want to bring this up. You can save 5% on your next Gemini mailer order. All you have to do is go over there and use the coupon code RAGIN2. And so check that out.
Two.
A lot of experiences with the Gemini mailer. I have one down here, but it's not in good thing. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that belt buckle.
That's nice.
It's huge.
Diamond Select is getting ready to release these. This was published 5 days ago. They're releasing a Gargoyles Bust series, and this is a sneak peek at Goliath. So that's pretty badass.
That is.
That's yeah.
I can't remember.
Agreed.
I think it might have been NECA that just put out one that has like fully articulated wings,
Yes.
fingers.
Mm.
It's nice. It's a really
Hold on,
nice.
let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, they're actually selling it at Walmart.
At Wally World?
At Walmart,
At-
yeah. It's
No,
Yeah,
it's not
Walmart has a
Walmart,
lot
it's
of
Wally
NECA
World.
toys. They
yeah.
got a lot of cool stuff there, NECA.
Take
I
like
need to
pretty,
walk
it
down
is
the
pretty.
toy aisle.
I have a Venom figure that's like this. To me, it's awesome looking, but it's veiny. It's very veiny.
Is it Snickers
That's the word.
bars veiny or is it?
You could say that. Let's
Okay.
see, hold on.
You guys know what I'm talking about when you open up a
Oh,
Snickers
yeah,
bar.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Look at that. Look
Oh
at that.
man, that is awesome.
Insane detail. Look at that.
I have got to get that
Same, bro.
until I see the price tag, and I'll be like, nope.
No, it's
He's like, no,
it's actually, okay. I'm not going to say it's necessarily affordable per se, but it's like, well, this one has. Say on eBay, if you go to eBay, they want to sell it for $100. But if I'm not mistaken, if this is the one I think it is, yeah, it was like 50 at Walmart. It was still not exactly, yeah. Oh, it's still not exactly the.
You mispronounced my wife.
What? Oh my god!
That's our producer in the chat. That's our producer, folks.
That's funny because it was on my shelf, and you gave it to me. I was like, okay, I don't, whatever.
I got to get
like
that.
it.
Is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
That's insane,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, I've been eyeballing Alphonse and Edward from Full Metal Alchemist. They have them at Walmart.
Oh yeah.
and I see them every time. I'm like, oh, Alphonse and Edward Elric, and I'm like, oh man, I want these.
You guys
so
don't
bad.
know.
And then they got the
Alchemist,
freaking
Brother
Rhino
Brothers.
alien
Really great.
NECA.
Oh
figure.
yeah, man.
that's a vintage one right there.
Sorry, this looks so weird next to the other.
I know, right?
He's
Oh
like,
my gosh,
wait,
we're
hold
going
on.
back in the Wayback Machine again.
Evolution.
See, because it was Disney, there were a lot of toys for it, but most things around that time, because of they changed the laws so that you couldn't strictly advertise to children through cartoons and other media.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had that was when they started that's what killed Saturday morning cartoons and a
Correct.
lot of action
Mhm.
figures, because there were so many things that were in the pipeline when that passed that they just couldn't advertise for because they couldn't put it on that cartoon or that next season. And it just so many cool. If you look on the Pinterest or even just YouTube, you'll see all kinds of videos about second or third waves of toy lines that were canceled because the cartoons had to end.
Right.
There was so much money and so much like IP tied up in that one law killed so much.
Killed it. Yeah.
Well, this show never got enough credit anyway, and they always had it at weird hours. I remember this show coming on early in the morning, and it's like, why? You should have had this show
Why
in
so
the
early?
afternoon or
Everyone's
something.
asleep.
But you see what I'm saying? You see those veins? It's
Very well done.
It's fantastic. It's just too veiny for me. It's just
Too
I don't know if
veiny.
that's a word.
That was back during a veiny period for toy or action figures, though, because
You
you
can
had a
keep
lot of. I've got a Justice League plastic
keep
man
it.
up above my head here that's all veins and stretched out, muscular, and just gross looking.
You see
Just
it?
not
that
very attractive
doesn't
at
make
all.
sense to me, especially with plastic man. This is smooth.
It's creepy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I bought it, because it was creepy.
It's creepy. Yeah, because it's creepy.
And I was
That's
checking
why-
this
that's-
out.
Look at that metal
Oh my
work.
gosh.
Wow.
That's my goodness. That's beautiful.
That's Victorian Iron
This
Man.
is coming out in
Yeah.
August. It's medieval Iron
Medieval,
Man.
yeah.
Let's see, where's
Medieval
the one?
Iron Man.
So he's got guns, and then his mask and stuff comes off. The face
Really?
is super detailed.
Wow.
Man, they are.
That's really
blowing
cool.
it out of the water.
Is
That's
McFarlane
cool.
doing those,
There it
or
is.
who? Who's doing that?
Russell.
They're it's action, but it's got an 8 CTION.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah.
I turned the
Coming out
camera
this-
off. You can walk through. Hold on, everybody. We got
We're holding
wife's
on.
getting out of the shower.
Oh yeah, definitely. Put your
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
your camera off.
What
All
you
right,
got?
we're good.
Yeah, there we go.
That would
Enhance.
not be good.
I'll be getting into these 30-minute missions. They're actually models, but they're models of action figures. So you'll put it together, and you put all the pieces together, and you have a finished action figure.
Cool.
Oh,
Gotcha.
cool.
And it's reminiscent of another toy line. Since we're talking about toys, Star Wars.
Nice.
I'm bringing this back.
Oh, wow.
About bringing this back.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. The toy line had no backstory whatsoever, and Marvel created an entire story for it. I am seriously working on designs as we speak. I've not gotten any go ahead from anybody. I don't even know if Disney, would have to be involved, but I've contacted somebody at Tomy, and I'm going to talk to their licensing people because these are they're as good as any modern anime robot you've ever seen. Zoids. They took a lot of the designs from Star Wars for Zoids back in the day,
Or Zoids.
and
Really?
I'm just saying it's good. It needs to come back.
I don't think I've ever seen those.
It's a 4-issue. I'll send them. I'll have all 4 issues scanned, so I'll send you the series.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It's they're robots that were just basically designed to save the world or fix the world while humans were sleeping after apocalypse.
Oh, wow. Kind of like a Wally type thing, way before there's
Yeah.
Wall-E.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good example of a similar concept. It's just more badassery.
Action.
That's Wally. Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely take a look at that. You know what it reminds me of
Born
is
contaminant.
as far as Transformers is concerned, I've never been a big Transformers fan.
That surprises me.
But I did like the one with the cassette player.
Blaster or Soundwave.
Is it Soundwave?
Both
Soundwave.
really. Blaster was the Autobot. Soundwave was the Decepticon.
I don't know. I just like the little.
Yeah.
He came
Yeah.
first. Purple
I
guy
like that.
with
Right. Well, he had to take. He had to. They come out and they change it to dinosaurs or whatever the case was. That was.
So you didn't
I
like
like those.
Starscream? You didn't like Starscream?
I wasn't a Transformers fan. I never.
That's
I
fine.
never got into Transformers.
I mean, this is not any love lost like on live air. I'm not saying that, but I still respect you as a person. What's that, Damion?
that's he said on air, but behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah,
it's
they're
just
behind the
like, this
scenes.
guy.
It's all another thing. Oh, Voltron.
Look at that. Voltron. We formed like Voltron, like the Wu-Tang Clan, you know
Did
what I'm
they?
saying?
Did
Which is
Voltron make a comeback? Because I know that Netflix was trying.
What's
Is
that,
it considered a comeback?
They came back once in the early 90s as a 3D animated series. They came back recently on Netflix with a more update. The same idea I was thinking about with this, where it's more streamlined, a little smoother, more modern anime style to the robots. But Voltron itself wasn't even based on one show. Voltron was 3 different shows that people, I think it was Ruby Spears, bought and cobbled together into a series. And they bought the rights for the toys and everything and brought it over. That was happening in the 70s and 80s too, where people were just importing things, renaming it,
Right.
and then putting out toys for it.
So it's
I was
just a
going to say
combination.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Randy.
I was going to say in the immortal words of Dr. Dre, don't call it a comeback.
No, don't call it a comeback.
And that's LL Cool J, huh?
Oh, LL Cool J.
Is it
Yeah.
LL?
See, you got me too.
Yeah, that's
Don't
okay.
call it a
Yeah,
comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. So the principle is still the same. Don't call it a comeback.
But yeah, let's say that's the thing. That's kind of what they did with Power Rangers, isn't it? They basically cobbled together a bunch of footage.
Yep.
But I will say, as far as Voltron was concerned, what I did like, I liked the Lions better than I liked the cars that they had. I did have
That's like the only ones they'll bring back. because
Is that the one that's
and I never saw the cars.
Yeah.
Apparently that was the whole second season of the show, and I missed it entirely.
Yeah. It was the entire.
I remember
season.
that. Yeah. It's
But,
like Battle
yeah.
of the Planets
Mhm.
Or G-Force.
It
Or
was
Gotcha Man.
G-Force. Yeah,
Oh,
Gotcha.
Gotcha
Yeah.
Man. Wow, man. That's what we're talking about.
And that's
In
still
case you guys don't know any of this stuff, just
And that was another young adult property that they kiddied up, added an R2D2 bookend to it, and just messed it up real bad. Yeah.
Well, and that's something that's actually a property they could bring back today. And I think that if they gave it that adult flavor to it, or gave it back its sense, it probably would sell pretty well.
They have
Because I still see it.
They have sort of in Japan. They have,
Yeah.
and it's still it's never really left. Gotcha Man is still around.
Gotcha Man was terrible. Okay.
The American version was dumb, but the original version is pretty fun, and it was a little darker than. Like, to answer your earlier question, I think there should be levels of these things, because you you have characters that no child should own a toy of that new Batman movie, and I love that movie, and I'm not a Batman fan, and I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I want a toy. Because there's levels of fans now. It's not like it was before, where there was toys were for kids or these things were for kids. It's for everybody, and it's the same. Go ahead.
Well, see, what? Wait. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt anybody, but I was.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, but see, that's the thing. If Toys R Us is going to try to make a comeback, and they're trying, if Toys R Us is going to try to make a comeback, what they did here is they took Babies R Us and they took Toys R Us and they stuck them together. When you used to go to Toys R Us when you were a kid, that whole thing was it was a sanctum of toys for it wasn't baby toys. It was you had action figures, you had bikes, you had.
It was amazing.
So,
it was
let's be honest.
Branding. It was complete. Go ahead, Russ.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Russ.
Let's be honest. KB Toys was where it was at, man.
Oh, no.
That might be.
Before KB Toys, there was Circus World.
Oh,
well, Circus World was
that was a
awesome
lot
too.
of fun.
KB would let you open toys and play with them.
Really?
They would
Yep.
randomly, if they didn't already have one open, they'd let you just grab it off the
They
shelf.
would let you open
and
one.
play with it.
Yeah,
And
when you would walk in, when they had the ones in the malls, they would have a big table of open toys. You could go through and try out the toys before you bought them.
Yeah.
And see, KB Toys was always at the same level as Walmart. And you would go into Toys R Us and it would be $10, $20, $30, $40 more for the same toys at Toys R Us. So I never got to go to Toys R Us until I got older, and I went there and I was like, oh yeah, that's why. Because the $60 game is $75. How can they justify that? Why do people buy this stuff?
Yeah.
I have to check that out. For us at KB Toys, the only one that I remember, and maybe my wife would remember something more, but was in the mall. It was just a small store, so we didn't have
back when we had malls.
Yeah. The old mall. There's always an old mall, but but the Toys R Us one, we had, of course, you had the big store, but
we had a big KB store. We had a big one here. So my grandparents, one of my grandparents lives in Warrenton, one lives in Troy, and they're 9 miles apart. And so every time we go visit my grandparents, we would go to the KB Toys store, which was right there in Warrenton. And it was massive. It was about the size of a Walmart. And then, of course, it had Bugle Boy next to it, back when Bugle Boy was the big fashion. And so I get my school clothes and I get my toys,
Wow.
Right. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it got to a point when I was younger where that was just birthday period. I didn't have wrapped gifts or parties or anything else like that. We just go there and buy something. That was it.
Yep.
But what I was saying
is your budget. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's your budget. Yeah.
So they could keep the prices down. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to come back, that's exactly what you need. Is you need a section that's going to have that catering to an older audience,
to an older
customer base.
You have to. You have to. You know what I mean? I think it just makes just good business sense.
Well,
you know what
what
I'm saying?
happened here?
You have these. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, no, you're right. But what happened here is we had a Babies R Us and you had a Toys R Us, and they decided to take one store and make it both, and you had half and half, and it really depleted the rest of the store. So it was basically you had maybe double what you had at Walmart, but not as much as you would have had, when they were a big store.
When they're originally a big store, that's correct. Yeah, they rarely had the newer stuff in KB, like Patrick was saying. But from a business sense, it's like they cut their inventory when they merged the two. So if you had a larger of the population that wanted to get some of the more grown up toys, they didn't have it or whatever. And so then what you have to do is then you had to hike up your prices because now you have limited inventory, and you do that for all your freaking brick and mortar stores. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I'm saying? So
see, ours had a good adult section. They had figurines, and then they had the Creo line, which is like a knockoff of Legos. And oh my gosh, I got so many the Star Trek series. So they had the Starship Enterprise, and then I've got the Klingon Warbird of Prey. And so, like, I'm not like a huge Trekkie, but that was something I love. The original Star Trek. It was something I watched with my other grandparent. Right. So, like, when I seen Creo had that, the only place they carried it was KB Toys, and that was when I discovered that holy shit, they had. Holy crap, they had an adult section.
But
that's true.
Yeah. But he was saying they need to have Toys R Us fused with the Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby has actually started carrying toys. Believe it or not,
really?
I noticed that.
So,
I noticed that they're starting to carry toys.
Yeah, that's where I saw the chicken nugget pop. Believe it or not,
the chicken nugget pop. Does it come with dipping sauces? That would be hilarious.
That would be funny.
Ranch and blue cheese.
I can't remember. I think it's like the Rockstar one. It had like the guitar. You know how they had the little.
Almost all the ones from the commercials are in there.
The really rare one would be the ones coming with the Szechuan sauce.
That's the Rick and Morty crossover.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Funko will make anything. I mean, when they made the monster and the girl from The Shape of Water. Like, why? Who bought The Shape of Water pops? Somebody. They even made a shape. Did you have it?
No, I'm kidding. No.
Oh, come on now.
Look, guys, they made a Steph Wilson pop.
It is a striking similarity. Look at that.
So if you guys don't have this pop and you'd like this pop, I have 5 of these left for sale for Comic Books for Kids. For $25 shipped, you could own this scary library ghost from Ghostbusters, the movie series. Here's the other pops. Slimer's so cute. I freaking need to get one of them.
Yeah, Slimer.
But yes, I have 5 of these left, $25 shipped. And that money will go straight to CB4K. That will be 1 box of comics shipped to a hospital or a cancer center. $25, folks. Please DM me or hit up the Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. Sorry about that. I had to hashtag always promote.
No, we've come to that time though. We need to go ahead. We need to do some shilling now.
Push some stuff out.
Let's bring up talking about Russ Flow Studio. Let's pull it up.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Talk to us, Russ.
Welcome to the author page of Russell Allen. Okay, sorry, I had to do that.
So there you go, folks. There's my babies in on Nanite. This is a story I wrote 10 years ago.
Great book.
Back in 20.
Get it. Yep.
Back in 2020, I had a cancer scare, and I thought that was going to be the end. And so, I thought, what's the one thing I regret not doing? And I regretted not publishing my book. So I rewrote it, added a lot more humanity to it. Now that 10 years later, I have kids. So it's the story of a father. It's a human story of a father being cast away from his family. He's trying to find his way back to them and to find out if the earth even still exists. Are they okay? It's a great story, guys. It's not just a sci-fi story. It contains different variations of other books. So it's got fantasy, it's got sci-fi, but more than anything, it's a human story. You can really relate to the characters. Plug, yo. And then I'm also a proud member of Comic Books for Kids. So on this website at ZenonAniteTitan.com, you can purchase the official T-shirts for Comic Books for Kids. We've got an art piece by Rodney Fike, one by April Grady Reyna, Wendy Steen Shaner. We've got the Iron Man logo and the standard Comic Books for Kids logo. So you can pick those up there. And I got the auction stuff on the Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K.
Cool.
So there's me and Little Man. My son had open heart surgery at birth. He had another one at 2.5 years old. So a lot of that emotion, a lot of that bond that I have with my son, you'll find that in the book. Some of the stuff I kind of integrated into the story. And that's kind of my drive for Comic Books for Kids as well. With him having his open heart surgery at 2.5, we were in this telephone booth for like 12 hours waiting to get that phone call. And, we get upstairs and, he's awake and he's rolling around. How do you convince a 2.5-year-old to sit still? He's in pain. We can't console him. And then the nurse walks in with a freaking 99-cent Hot Wheel. It's a Spider-Man car. And all of a sudden he's just focused on this Hot Wheel. And I'm like, man, this is a great thing, that people donate this stuff to the hospital, that a 99-cent toy can not only console our son for half an hour to an hour, but it gives us time after 12 hours of being, just stressed to the max to sit back and be there for each other. So it was in 2018. It was a year later. I found Comic Books for Kids through a comic book store. I started giving monthly. 2019, I met Mark, which is the owner, founder, CEO of Comic Books for Kids. I told him, man, I appreciate what you do. I told him about Roderick, and he met Roderick. And then when I published the book and did the CB4K shirt for Nanite Titan, Mark got in contact with me and said, you've done a ton of stuff for the charity. I know you're a good man. What do you think about becoming an official member and offering the T-shirts? These official T-shirts, and you can do, whatever. And so then we moved forward with doing the auctions. And then I called Mark, I guess about a month and a half ago. I've been doing this stuff behind the scenes, writing Cat and Piggy Girl. It was edited by Chuck Pino. The art is being done by Rodney Fike. And then it's going to be lettered by Jason Meadows. And I called up Mark and said, hey, I'm making this comic book. I'm going to sell it, and all the money made from this book is going to be used to buy extra copies to send out. It's a great thing, people, because what's going to happen with this, I'm going to create a page for the kids to post pictures of them with their stuffed animals, stories about Roderick and Adriana, which is my kids, and, their stuffed animals turn out to be superheroes. And so this will get, that's the one thing kids always take to hospitals, their stuffed animal. My kids do. And so I thought, this would be a great story for these kids to read, because once they're done reading the book, they can escape from the pain, going through chemo or whatever it is, and take their stuffed animal and pretend that they're on superhero adventures with their stuffed animal. So I'm going to create a page. They can post pictures of themselves, of course, with their parents' permission. And it's going to create a community, because these kids will be like, oh, I'm having this surgery. I'm scared. And then you got 10 other kids on there. Oh, I've had this done this many times. So it's not going to create a community that they can help each other, but out of the kids that post book 2, one of those kids is going to get an opportunity to be a sidekick. And I will continue to do that with each issue. I'll put all the kids on a wheel. I'll spin that wheel.
Cool.
That kid will receive copies of the book to share with their friends. And, I'm possibly going to grade a copy for them to keep forever. So last month was CB4K Day on 2/22/22. It'll be going on again next year on 2/22/23. And we raised $800 for them. So it was a huge feat. That's 32 boxes of comics, pop figurines, Pez dispensers, stuffed animals, coloring books that were sent out. So guys, I can't thank you guys enough for that opportunity, to be able to do this.
Thank you for your
And I'm
work,
humbled.
Russell.
Yeah.
Thank you for your work.
I couldn't do this without,
forward.
I'm just a facilitator, I couldn't do this without the gracious donations from artists, from, people in the community saying, hey, I want to send this in. And, because of everybody's generosity, I was recognized last
Yeah.
year.
Hold on. Pull that up. Yes.
Yes.
I was recognized last year. And this just isn't my award. This is the community's award. Because like I said, I'm a facilitator. I just put the stuff up and send the money over. You guys made this happen through your generous donations of the art, the books, everything that was put up. And for the generosity of the people that bought the stuff. You know, it's an awesome thing that we're doing. And we're not all, the great thing about doing the charity, I'll get off my soapbox in a second. I apologize.
No, you're
The great
fine.
thing
No,
about the
you're
charity
good.
is
Yeah.
the great thing about the charity is this, guys, we're not just helping kids and helping parents go through a hard time, because I'm gonna tell you, you know, when my son has open heart surgery, it's one of the worst feelings in the world, sitting there waiting to find out if your kid's gonna make it. And then you get up there and they're in pain, you know, and these nurses bring in these books and these coloring books and, you know, these race cars and stuff. And it's an amazing thing this charity does. But we're also teaching these kids to be good to one another. And, you know, from the people that have been given art, the people that have bought the art, I've gotten so many messages from adults that have went through open heart surgery as a child, that have went through chemo as a child and radiation therapy. And they say, I really wish this was available when I was a child. This is a great thing. I want to keep this going. What do you need? That is, it's amazing. And this is teaching them that, you know, to be kind to one another. You never know what another person's going through, but hopefully they will continue it. You know, when I'm gone, when Mark's gone, they will continue this charity on to where it doesn't ever stop, you know, and they keep giving to these hospitals, because it's a great thing. And I really hope it keeps going. So
Well, we're
I
gonna work to
constantly
make
have
sure
stuff
it
for
keeps
auction
going.
on my page. That page that you guys just put up, that Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K, there's a ton of items still left on there. We've got some original art. We've also got this Lady Duff by Elias Chatzadis, and it's got the
Yep.
COA in the back,
There we
and it's
go.
framed right here. You can get this bad boy on there. We've got some original art from Martha Schwartz. She's donated some stuff. We've also got art from Randy Fike and a bunch of AZ Power Girl books from Karen Nicole, Sapphire Spectre books. I'm trying to remember what else. We've got some novels and stuff on there, so please go check it out. 100% of everything on there, everything goes towards, and I always send extra. Like, we ended CB4K day, I bought a couple things on there. It was like 750 something. I donated another $40 to make it an even 800, because I hate crazy numbers. I'm like, here's 800. It's an even number. So 100% of everything goes over there, folks.
Yes.
And as you've seen on that
There we go.
post that he brought up, I always
There it
post
is.
on there, hey, I sent it over. And it's not because, you know, I want to brag. It's because I like to keep an open, you know, channel of communication. You folks give your hard work over by sending over art and stuff. I want you to see that you make a difference and that the money gets sent. The people that buy the stuff, I want you to know that we have a, you know, an open communication that, you know, this is actually happening. I don't want anybody to ever think I'm keeping the
It's
money.
full transparency.
And then this is,
and everybody's
yeah,
making an
transparency.
impact.
There we go. That's the word I was
Everybody's
looking for.
making
It's
the full.
late.
I
I'm
got
like,
you,
Yes.
brother. It's but it's a significant impact, and you seldom see these types of programs, I suppose, circulating in the industry / community, if I may say so myself. So CB4K, I think, is tremendous. That's tremendous work, and for everyone that donates or assists the cause, you're assisting generation to generation. You're impacting people's understanding. You're injecting empathy, and don't let me get on my soapbox about that, but we need injection of humanity now more so than ever, and so this is necessary work. So,
well, I
thank you and
mean, here's the
everybody
thing
else.
with COVID and these new variants and stuff, the hospitals around here have shut down again. My biggest thing about driving CB4K, you know, into everybody's mind, and you know, and giving either stuff for me to auction or giving by buying these auction pieces is, imagine being a 7-year-old kid and they're under COVID protocols where they're not allowed to have visitors. So you're a 7-year-old child going through chemotherapy by yourself. You're holding your own hair as it's falling out, throwing up in a toilet. Imagine what these kids are going through. They're by themselves. The parents can't be there. They're terrified. There's nobody to be there for them. The only thing they have is their stuffed animal, their blanket, and whatever CB4K can provide for them. And so that's why I want you guys, you know, to step up the game. Let's crank it out this year. Let's make Cat and Piggy Girl do 100K. I mean, this, if any project I've ever done, Stuff Pool, Circle of Destruction, Xeno Nanite Titan, I don't care about that stuff. You know, if I want any project to hit 100K, I want it to be this Cat and Piggy Girl. because I want Mark to have a FedEx tractor trailer show up with 8 skids of Cat, and Piggy Girl, and that he can send some over to UK, he can send some over to Canada, because folks, Comic Books for Kids is not only in the US now, there is a Canada distribution, and we're proud to announce that the UK now has Comic Books for Kids, cb4k.org, so they will be starting to provide comic books, coloring books, and stuff in the UK. So, I mean, we're doing great things, folks, and, you know, I would just love to, you know, be a fly on the wall when Mark has that FedEx truck back up, and he's like, what are these? And he's like, oh, I got 8 pallets of Cat, and Piggy Girl for you. And him just to pass out, you know.
We want you to pass out, Mark.
Like, oh my gosh, speaking of
I mean, I think he almost did when I sent them that money over last Saturday. It was either last Saturday or the Saturday before last from Comic Books for Kids Day. I got a email back. He's like, "Whoa, I don't even know what to say. That made my Saturday. This is a big help, because they do inventory in January, and then they start shipping in February. So, you know, February is a tough month for them. Everybody's broke from Christmas. So a lot of the donations stop. So, you know, that $500 we raised on CB4K Day made a huge impact, because it started the year off good for them getting stuff out the door.
All right. You know, speaking of Mark, let's take a look at what Mark's got. Hold on, let's pull it up here.
Do we have bean footage? Do we have
Yes,
bean
we
footage?
do. Ooh. Omniversal.
Omniversal ink. I had to do that.
So take us through it.
I'm gonna follow that. Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'm not trying to one up you, Master C.
This man over here is doing God's work, and I talk about.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what. This is because let's look at what if they're gonna get a Piggy Girl
Cat
toy. Let's talk about where it comes from. So
yeah.
What's your desire? Obviously, you like toys. So, what was your desire to start a toy company?
I wanted a toy of my character for my comic, and I did research on it. And basically, anyone that would make toys was like, "Here's what I do. Send me the design. I'll make you a toy." How much? $250, $300 for one action figure. It might have 24 points of articulation, but it's one action figure for $250. And I looked around, and it's like, maybe I could make one. And I found 3D printers were pretty cheap. And so I basically taught myself, my 2020 was teaching myself how to 3D model. And I spent basically 6 months learning how to do it, and came up with an action figure of my, like a 3/4, 3-4 points of articulation action figure. And I'm like, okay, so I have one. Now what? And Kenny Aiken had come out with Apex, and I really liked Apex. I thought it was a really nice character, very fun story, lots of heart to it. And I'm like, well, let me see what I can do. And I modeled it, and I was like, I really like this. Hey, Kenny. And I texted him. I was like, Kenny, what do you think of this? And he liked it. And I thought, what if we make a couple and you put them through your Kickstarter? And sorry, they're giving home fives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see what people think. And they went over like hotcakes. Like, they were a big hit. And so he ended up getting some more, and I made him some more. And it pretty much just snowballed from there. Like, people want to see toys of their figures. I want to make toys that look like the characters for the people that created them. Because if the creator is happy with the toy, then their fans are going to be happy with the toy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And
well, I mean, let's be honest here. I looked into getting an action figure for Xenon Anti-Titan before I did the 3D model with a 3D printer. Mm-hmm. And 99% of the companies, if you try to go create your own action figure, it's a $25,000 upfront mold fee for them to design it. And it's a minimum purchase of 1,000 units at $25 each. So it's an extra $25,000 for a minimum order. So just to produce your own action figure, you're looking at $50K. So, you know, when I seen the Oh My Toys when he had the nebulizer, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get in contact with this dude. And so it's great that, you know, we did the show together and we were able to, you know, get to know more about each other because, I mean, what you're doing is awesome as well. You know, I don't want to anybody to downplay what you're doing because,
No,
I mean, it's expensive.
I'm like, you do so much good work, and I'm like, come on, really, toys?
Well, no, you do good work too, man. I mean, listen, you are bringing something to indie creators that they can afford because
Correct.
I can't
That's
afford
the
50
whole
grand.
That's the whole
Right.
point. I've got ideas that may not translate to other media, and I am going to be working on some of those in the next year. Over the course of the next year, I'm getting better equipment. I'm working on articulation and things, but you know,
Well, and listen, folks, here's the best part. How many of us have bought a toy, and nobody's talked about this yet? How many of us have bought a toy and we didn't want to open it because it would tear the packaging?
Yeah,
Oh My
go
Toys
ahead.
has a great packaging because you can open
Absolutely.
it, take the toy out, play with it, and then reseal it, and it never looks like it's been opened.
Right. Now I was going to bring that up.
Right.
Absolutely. Look at this. Look at this.
I
It's
can't
snap
stand
time.
not being able to play with my toys. I want to. If I like, that's why I call them toys and not action figures, because
Right.
Yeah.
you can play with them. You take them out, you play with them, you set them up, you knock them down, you bring your other toys out, you have your own crossovers, and then you put them back. And one of the things about what I've been doing with O-Toys so far is that all the figures are compatible. So you know, based on size and dimension, as much as we can possibly without altering what the creator has intended for the figure. So like the nebulizer can play with Apex, can play with Trash Man. You know, you can put them up together. And the other hallmark, and this is a must for anything I produce, it must stand up on its own. It has to stand up on its own.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
action figures that can't stand. Like you've got feet. Like I've got a really nice set of Fantastic Four Marvel Legends behind me, and I had to buy an extra like $10 pack of stands to get them to stand upright. I'm like, why did I do this? So
there's nothing worse than the footing being wrong or it's got a weak waist. Those are the two main issues. The footing is wrong. You can't articulate the legs where they stand up, or the waist is so weak. When they do stand up, the top half, you know, leans forward and then it falls over.
Exactly. I mean, even
unacceptable.
They have stands that, you know, some of those won't stand up right cool because the giant head. But now this list here, our pricing list is going to be updated. I realize there are some overpricings in here that I don't want. I'm with the new equipment I'm getting, the price is actually going to be dropping on the. We try to do lots of 5 to 10, depending on how many you want. But I mean, we start at like $350. You get 5 action figures. They're unpainted, but there are 4 points of articulation, full color backing, reclosable packaging. You basically get 5 of your action figure in the mail for like $350.
Cool.
And that's can include
awesome.
shipping depending on how much I like you.
Keep that in mind, folks.
Be nice to me. Be my friend.
He's going to get all sorts of friend requests tomorrow.
Oh, now look at it. These DMs are going to blow up. Just watch out, Damion.
I can only have so many friends. But my wife does all the painting. Like all of our painted figures, she does all the painting. She's really good at it. She can get fine detail in there. We always try to color match. Like we'll sit there with a comic, and if the color's different at different spots, we'll talk to the creator. Hey, which one do you want us to go with? Like, because like I said, at the end of the day, that's why I got in it, because I wanted a figure for me of my character. I wanted it to look like my guy. I wanted it to be my guy. Because again, something that just annoys me is when you buy an action figure, it looks nothing like the character, especially with comics. And with indie comics,
come on,
to get it, by the time you're done, you're just happy you got something. So why give up quality for quantity?
Right.
And if you're interested in some other stuff, I make music and comics. They're on there too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk.
Give it, just click on that and just put some Viagra on it. Can I say
that? Day One Comics.
It's home to the omniverse with them. Go ahead.
The shtick is that I love crossovers, and one of the, you always hear about crossovers. You always hear about how universes are adjacent or however, but no one ever talks about how all came to be. A small multiverse, possibly, but usually, the larger expanses of how not just DC and Marvel, but like anybody could be connected to anybody. And so I kind of play with some ideas in Realm X. If you go to my website and click that, you'll actually get a sneak peek at the first issue. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Okay, we're good, right?
Yeah.
You weren't talking to me. I wasn't sure if you're talking to me or the audience, but yeah.
I'm talking to anybody who's listening. Be my friend.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
That's like a 12. I think it's 12 or 14 page preview of the first issue. We're actually later this year going to be releasing a quarterly, or start releasing a quarterly book. So there's a constant presence, less sporadic and more regular for the character.
Yeah.
That's
Read
awesome.
this.
Awesome.
You'll understand some stuff. Put my hand in front of the camera. Sorry. You'll see some things. You'll know some stuff. And I don't want to go into too much until I actually get the book out regularly. And then we'll talk.
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to go
We'll
through
bring
because I
it
want
back
them
on
to
the
go
show.
to the website and I want them to go see it. So absolutely cool. Yeah.
My
I'm
music.
digging it.
Go check out the music too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you don't have to do it now, just when you have a chance.
Is this like 16-bit or 32-bit like death metal? What is it? Is it synthwave or?
It's a little bit of everything. I like.
Okay.
It's like techno, little house, little electro, mostly.
Oh, bro, you're speaking my language. Yeah, I
techno.
love it. Soul.
You want to play? Here, let's go.
I don't know.
I mean-
Yeah, it's
I don't-
my jam, man. I listen to techno and dubstep while I'm writing.
Yeah.
See that?
The chaos.
Yeah,
And it's an 18 track. Can you call an 18 track album an EP?
You can. On this show you can.
Yeah, an extra extended play.
There we go. It's an
Eternal play.
EEP. So we call it an E, like a dolphin.
Nice.
Just call it an E.
Nice.
That's what it is.
And if I want to get into all of this, not just one thing, you got to check out. Are you omniversal?
Are you?
Oh, are you?
That's a good question. Maybe a little bit.
Oh,
I'm
I
just
know
a
that
little
guy.
omniversal, but not.
Oh yeah,
not
if you're
much.
those are still on sale. The Brian K. Morris.
Brian K. Morris Funko Pop.
That's so cool.
And
That's
the
funny.
figure on the right is one that he helped me create. It's
That's cool.
an alien for an idea we're going to play with later. But yeah, I had to when I knew
I
he
got to
was
get me one of those.
I got to make him one.
I'm telling you, look at that. That's awesome.
I'm buying one Thursday when I get paid. I'm doing it.
Sweet.
I gotta have Brian K. Morris on my shelf. I gotta have the Fez.
Soul.
It comes
It's
in the
all about
dome too,
that.
so you get the whole thing.
Man, see
course,
that?
That's our omnibus. I say omnibus and not graphic novel because it's everything I've ever done for the character since 1997. So, been working on this character. This will be the 25th year that I've worked on this.
That is impressive, my friend. That is.
Well,
That's an omnibus.
Yeah, right.
it
is.
I appreciate it.
No.
Wait till you read it first.
If we like the soundtrack enough.
I'm being that guy. I know I'm being that guy. I'm not trying.
No,
It's just,
no, that's what we're here for.
No.
That's what we're doing.
I-
You chill, damn it.
Chill.
Why am I
Thank
still-
you.
Buy it now.
Chill, damn it.
Do
Go.
it.
Do it.
Buy
Say it.
everything.
Do it.
Buy everything.
Buy everything I make for like $200. You can get everything I make.
Even the action figure. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the figure. I keep pointing at the screen like you can see me, and then I'm covering it.
You put your hand up like it's paparazzi trying to take pictures. Like, please, no. Too famous.
I'm proud of that character. I'm proud of that action figure too. Like it's
Should be.
the original art commissions. You can pretty much pick like everything, any line art, color art. Art. Make art.
Art.
Just make art. They've got the choice. They've got the touch. I know you don't like Transformers, Mixed Master C, but Stan Bush's "You've Got the Touch." You know what I mean? From the original Transformers movie, you should listen to that.
I didn't know the original Transformers movie. I'm not going to talk about that one.
For crying out loud! All right, that's after the show. All right, fine. Let's keep rolling.
Are you Omniversal? Go check it out. Go get you a Brian K. Morris figure.
Sold.
You gotta be buying one.
He allows me to say official.
Oh, wow.
It's official. Okay.
I like one of Randy next because I want him to be I want it to be a line of like comic book greats.
That would be hilarious. I have to settle on a hat first before you do it because I lost my green one. So let me find a new hat.
The moment you get a hat, we got to do the Funko Pop, all right?
I've got a sombrero, but it doesn't look right.
I'm serious. I'll do it. Like, we get it set up.
So, Damion, where else can we find you other than Are You Omniversal?
I am I'm quoting Mr. Rodman.
All right, I'm ready for my Funko Pop.
I'm 1/4 of the Dastardly Dingoes podcast every Tuesday night on the Rising Tide Network.
Awesome. Who else is on that show?
Some other dudes. Some guy named Brian.
Some guys. I don't know. Some guys are on there.
Brian Rodman, Chad Nuss, and Jeremy Woodring. They've been kind enough to allow me to join the crazy over there. So
that's awesome.
Now I'm a part.
Yeah.
Yay.
Used to be a dingbat.
Russ, where else can we find you at?
You can find me at Russ Explode Studios, Books with Heart. If you have a project that you are running on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, you just want to come on and chat about what you do. I've had life coaches, artists, cooks. We've had all kinds of different stuff. I don't care what you do. If you want to come on and talk about your stuff, promote it. We can talk about your projects, and we mainly talk about you because you know what? As an artist, as a creator, we hardly get a chance to talk about ourselves and what we're into. Everyone can go check out their project, but they can't check out you. So what I do is I do a podcast on Sundays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Central. Those are my more serious one-on-one. And then I also do Blastcasts on Saturdays where it's adult and it goes crazy, mainly because of this guy right here. We get him and I, when we get in, it gets crazy. It gets AO big time. And then crazy projects erupt as a result of these conversations. But check that out. Russ Explode Studios, Books with Heart. If you guys have a project, hit me up. I'm pretty much open for right now. My health has kind of gone downhill. So I've kind of not been beating people over the head to come on the show. But you know what? If you want to do a show, I'm still doing them. I hear all the time people say, oh, man, everybody's booked up for months. I wish I could get on the show. I'm available. And I sometimes, if you really need the help, I will work with you. I'll pick another day and say, hey, let's do it this night. So I'll do whatever I can to promote you, share your projects. And then Saturday you can come unwind, have fun with us. I bring on, we usually have 10 people total, minus, my wife and I, so 8 different people. And we just get on and have fun, talk stories, come up with crazy stuff, and cause as much chaos. As you can see, my cats are being chaotic behind me. And you can also find me at Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. And you can find me at ZenoNaniteTitan.com. I'm also available on YouTube and Twitch. I stream to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch anytime that I am streaming. So if you're available on any of those platforms, just type in RUSSXPLODE and you will find me.
Awesome.
All right, excellent. Mr. Zim, the Gandalf the White of comics, Gandalf the Gray of comics. I'm not sure.
No, it's Gandalf the White. Right.
Just
Gandalf the White of comics.
Just Gandalf in general.
It's just Gandalf. Okay.
That's what we need. We need him to start out in a gray beanie, and then halfway through the show, all of a sudden he's just got a white beanie on. And he becomes Gandalf the White.
That's a great
and he goes from gray headphones to white headphones to what happened to Randy? He's evolved into the white.
His staff. I told you to take.
You shall not pass.
Be more like you shall not publish. You shall not publish.
Nice.
Oh,
You
geez.
can find me on
work-
Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter, but not very often, under Randy Zim. I've got Arrow Comics 4.0 still alive out there somewhere, thanks to Nita, and Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. And other than that, you can find me back here next Tuesday for more dispatches from outside the box. On Wednesday night, I host a podcast called the Zimcast, where we cover news and industry inside stuff. You would say lots of stuff. And then Sunday morning, my pride and joy is the Sunday Funnies. It's back. It's on 9 a.m. Sunday morning, where we cover the more lighthearted and whimsical side of this business and talk about the passions that we absolutely love. And we try to put the fun back in funny books with a selection of guests, most of which are across the pond. So that it's the middle of their afternoon, as opposed to everybody trying to get up early in the morning. So you can
Also,
catch me over there Sunday morning.
Let's talk about this real quick.
The long
Those-
shots. Yes.
Yes.
7 publishers, 9 books, 1 big deal. Well, it was. It's still a big deal, but it was a really huge deal. It looked like it was going to be a really huge deal that turned out to be a nothing burger that went south. And well, I'm hearing echo. Anyway, we went through and printed 9 titles. They're all great properties, a wide variety of things, as you can tell just by the covers. There's superhero, there's supernatural, there's goofy cartoons, there's magical mice, crazy jetpack girl is in there, the Interceptor is there with the Shield of Avalon, Tall Tales, and Wellkeeper. All just great titles. We're offering all 9 titles now for $25 plus shipping. The books are printed, and we're offering a lot of
to go.
and ready to be shipped. Just and they're phenomenal books too. Very special printings, very pretty books, and they're all properties that you're not going to see the end of with this group. There'll always be more God's Hand coming out. Always more Only Death Can Save Us. Definitely more HeroBot Zero in the pipeline.
Awesome.
Lots of great stuff to enjoy. What a great way to learn about some great properties with an easy ramp up at a very inexpensive price at $25 for 9 books. And it's 9 32-page high quality books. So
how many staples we got in those books?
There's
Randy?
3 staples on every spine.
3 staples.
Just because we went with a phenomenal printer who didn't had never printed comics before and threw that 3rd staple in the middle. We're very proud of all of these products. We've got lots of copies of them. We ask you that you go over to Indiegogo if you want to learn more about this great campaign. Go over to Indiegogo and look under the long shots. Again, 9 books for as low as $25. We have a $50 tier, $100 tier with metal bookmarks and sketch cards and prints and original art. We have $1,000 and $2,500 tiers for bound versions of these books that we're especially proud of, and those are going to be incredibly limited. To just, I think it's 10 per tier are only available. Plus, we have an executive experience. If you want to live through a part or a couple of days worth of what we had to go through,
which is now indie history. Go ahead.
Which is now indie history. We're still waiting for Dojo Kun to do one final video on the exact findings on this, and it's not pretty, folks. It's not pretty. But for that 10,000 tier, we give you an economy rental for you to drive out to New Jersey. We show you the Egg Harbor parking lot after you have a great Italian lunch, and we're talking great here. We show you the parking lot that we sat in for a couple of hours. We have a small party because everybody's going to be in on this. You pay your 10,000. As many of the 9 creators or the 7 creators are going to be there for you to help you relive this experience. we'll all fly and drive in, and we'll enjoy this together. It'll be like one great big party. We'll enjoy the parking lot for a little bit. We guarantee you will not gain admittance into the Spencer's building at all. There will be a medical emergency or something else that will spring up. So you won't get inside. We promise you that. Then we're all going to go to the Texas Roadhouse, and you might be able to ride that sawhorse, which is a joy in of itself. And if you haven't eaten at a Texas Roadhouse, it is good food. And then after that, the next day, we will take you to a comic shop in Brooklyn and give you a tour of their basement. Where we sat for a day.
Listen,
in the
guys,
hopes that this contract was going to come in for us to sign. And then if you're really nice, and you want it, because you have to want it, we'll give you a tour of Central. We'll give you a tour of Central Park as well, and we'll all go. We'll all walk the park. It'll be a great time, and just nothing but fun as we relive the tragedy that spawned the Long Shots campaign on Indiegogo right now. Please go over there, take a look, buy in, and you won't be sorry, because these books are, I can't stress to you enough. I've been in this business for over 35 years, and these books are the nicest, prettiest published books I've ever been associated with. And that's not a stretch. That's not, I'm not blowing smoke.
No,
they are incredibly
beautiful,
incredibly pretty. And if there was any way we could have kept this deal going and have kept more books coming, that we would have changed the industry, quite frankly, if this deal had been real. And it wasn't. And we're stuck with a bunch of books that we hope that you will enjoy.
Yes.
So
go back.
Well, listen, folks, Randy's telling you to go to Texas Roadhouse. Man, if you want to go somewhere that you don't have to listen to your wife talk to you, even if she's sitting next to you, go to Texas Roadhouse, because the music's so loud you can't hear yourself think.
Well,
and if you want to embarrass the hell out of somebody on their birthday, take them there, because they will make the person whose birthday it is get on a saddle and ride the saddle around
ride
the
that
entire
sawhorse.
restaurant.
Look,
Yeah,
I have
they
a banner.
line dance
I have a
behind
banner
you.
for that. Just to let everybody know, I have a banner for that.
And not every Texas Roadhouse is the same, because we had a great, outside of the fact that all of this was turned into a fiasco, all of us had a really great time when we were there. So it's a great level. We
Randy,
hope somebody
Gandalf joined in the line dancing. He showed them how
all
it's done.
No, but I did take a video.
He got the footage.
I have beautiful bean footage.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. So Long Shots over on Indiegogo, and soon, maybe within the next couple of months, I'm hoping to get a sign-up page up for my graphic novel I'm working on right now, called My Life Under COVID.
Can't wait for that one.
Nice.
So, and that'll include a series of drawings that I did while I was in the hospital, in the nursing home, and all of the information that I gathered while being paralyzed and having to go through physical therapy. It was a very unique experience. I'm told I'm a miracle twice over to still be walking, and to have gone through physical therapy as fast as I've been going through it. And I'm just happy to be alive. And I've got a lot of stories to tell you, because while I was on that respirator, I had some crazy, crazy dreams that were incredibly real to me. But come to find out, I never left the hospital bed in Flint. So it's going to be an interesting book. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to see it.
Amen, Russell. We're incredibly grateful to still have you, Grandmaster Sim.
Happy.
We're going to add you to the kidnap list for the painted over rider truck trip to Applebee's and Chili's with my boys.
That's right. And there's a couple of strips.
It's gonna be a party.
Candy.
That might not be a kidnapping. You can't kidnap the Willie.
Well, did you hear that, kid?
Listen, man.
All right.
When you when you hear a rider truck pull up with no exhaust and no cat, it's just straight pipe, and it's leaking oil and leaking coolant. It's poorly painted over with a washing machine for a roof, because we had to weld it on because we rolled it a couple of times. Just know that it's us. It smokes really bad too.
You get in that. You get in the van and you
You
enjoy
get
it.
in the back. Yeah.
Oh,
You get in the back. Don't mind the 55-gallon drum of Astroglide, all right? Just
don't
I have
mind
a-
that.
for
I have a
reason.
story. Back in the 80s, we did a convention where we all traveled from Detroit over to Windsor in a wrecked out van with no seats. And there was a group of us that traveled over there, and getting back was rougher than going there
Oh
because
gosh.
of customs.
That
But,
sounds like a.
Wow.
That sounds like.
It included the van that we were in also included Scott McLeod, who traveled with us, and Adam West, who had a limo and was treated special, also was with us for that Windsor meal.
All right,
Very-
that sounds
very
like a
good time.
that sounds like a long conversation there.
And it was a long time ago too.
So, where can we find you?
Telling you.
Stone.
Oh, no, me, guys, I'm not important. I'm kidding. You can find me, Google Journey of the Shadow. We're verified. We're now a verified small business. It's a one-man army. I've been doing the Journey of the Shadow thing, I guess, now actively since 2016, I suppose. So Volume 1's been published on Amazon. We won some awards for it. You know, we got featured on NBC, certainly in the Maxwell Show. I keep forgetting to tell people about that because it's a one-man army. You forget things. But the next book is dropping in May, and it's twice as long as Volume 1. It's Tolkien level stuff because I'm just like, I'm going to echo what Russ said. I went through and I did stuff for R&D for the Department of Defense. I did a lot of things. I said, but you know what? There's something that I really love to do, and I've been wanting to do it. And Darkness Falls is just an extension of, I think, 4 novels that will come out of this series. So May 2022, you guys look out for Darkness Falls. That drops. If you want to learn more about me, hey, guys, I'm on Instagram. Facebook, Zuck put me in jail. I'm in Facebook jail because I was posting a lot of literature, as you can see. So naughty, can't do that.
You can show breasts all day long. You just can't show the nips.
You can't. Well, I blurred them out, but they didn't
Areolas
like
are
it.
questionable.
That's the question. You know what? That might be cardinal sin.
Yeah.
Well, see, what happened was he changed Journey of the Shadow into Join Our Titty Squad, and that's what Zuck was like, no.
And he was like, nope, that's the straw that broke the
That's where we got to
camel's
draw the
back.
line.
That's where I draw the line.
What people don't realize is that Darkness is the name of his favorite stripper.
I mean, hey, there's alimony. I got a court date Thursday with her, so I'm glad you brought that
so you
up,
got
man.
2 of them. You've got the one over in Germany, and now you got
And the
this
one in
man.
Monroe,
How many
Louisiana.
illegitimate
Yeah.
children do you have?
That's for another show. That's on the Zimcast, Russ. That's
Zimcast
All right.
material,
That's
which we're pretty sure Stone will be on tomorrow night,
yeah, I'll be
along
there.
with C Michael.
But journeyoftheshadow.com, guys. You can find me and send me a DM.
Hey,
I'll
I'm up
respond.
for
not
it too, Zimcast. If you need somebody.
Are you, buddy? Yeah. Are you? Are we friends on Facebook?
Yeah.
Send me a PM. I'll send you a link.
Sweet.
I would really also like to get you on. Well, we can talk about this after the show, but I'd like to get you on Sunday Funnies as well to talk about the comics for kids.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'd love to have you on for that.
So, all right, of course. You can catch me here next week on Dispatches. We're going to be with Rob Maltori and Dwayne Robinson, and our subject is going to be about werewolves. Can you imagine that? Talking to Rob Maltori about werewolves?
Werewolves.
Check that out. Of course, you can find me on Linktree / C Michael Lanning. And we're going to leave you with our quote of the week and maybe a small bump and head on out. So good night, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, folks.
Happy boy, yeah. Are you still an asshole?